Hi y'all. Well, I finally get to do a video for you. I've been working 7 days a week to get this building dried in and closed in and ready for the weather that we're expecting. And the last time I did that, the weather didn't show up, but I have to get ready. When they forecast a week of rain, I've got to get ready for it. And this roof is built with many layers, so I have to be careful not to allow water to get in between those layers. I'm going to do a different video that's going to show you how I built those layers up, and I wish I could have done it at the time, but I was under the gun to get this built, and it's just me, so the going can be slow compared to running a crew of men working on a building like this. So today's video is going to be about the metal roof that I've been putting on the last couple of days. And so I'm going to show you really quickly, I think, how I prepare. This is a Snaplock system, and it's like a standing seam system, but it doesn't use the roll crimper that crimps the double lock seams. This one has a Snaplock. I'm going to show you how that works, and I'm going to show you how you prepare the panels. When I do this on the roof, I prepared 15 panels at a time, 14 panels at a time, and then went up and installed it. But in this video, I'm going to show you one panel, and I'm going to take it up and install it. And I'm by myself today, so I don't have a videographer, so you'll have to forgive me for the roughness. But so I'm going to show you the steps that I take. The way I start, let me adjust the camera a little bit so you can see where I'm working. The way I start is I come in and I mark 3/4 of an inch. This is the bottom edge of the panel. And I'm going to put on my eye protection, my hearing protection, and I'm going to make 2 cuts. Up to that 3/4 inch line. Now, you can do this a couple of different ways. I have this tool that I bought for $50 on Amazon that makes this job very easy. You can also use the 6-inch crimper, and it takes a little more time, but this tool makes it really easy. So I'm going to put this bender tool on, and I'm going to put it almost to the 3/4 inch line. I want the 3/4 inch bend to be in the middle of the 3/4 inch line. So I'm going to hold back a little bit, and then this tool makes it easy. Look at that. Isn't that great? And that panel's ready, and the pencil mark is right in the middle of the bend because I held back not a 1/16, a little less than a 1/16 of an inch, and that's just about the right amount. And this bend is enough to get it to hook on, and then I've got a tool up above, up on the roof, that I'm going to show you that is going to crimp this back together. Now, after I do the bend, then I want to cut. This piece snaps over this piece, and I want to shorten this piece a little bit more than the 3/4 inch. And there it is. Now, for those of you watching who do metal roofing for a living, I'm showing how I'm doing it, help our subscribers out. If you have a better way than what I'm showing, help our subscribers out and talk about it in the comments. And as always, you want to look at the description on all of my videos, because these are one-take videos. And I want you to look at the description, because if I have a correction to make or any information that I need to give you, I don't edit these videos. I don't overlay descriptions like a lot of people do. Anything that I need to tell you about this video after the fact is going to be in that description. So always, take a little glance up there and see if there's something that I needed to say. And I'm going to take this panel up on the roof now, and I'm going to take the camera up on the roof. It's going to be a little rough getting there. So let's see how that works out. I'm going to put this up there first. And then we're going to go up top. Let's see how this works out. We're going to go up top and we're going to install it. Oh yeah, let's shorten up these legs. I know it's not professional, y'all, but I'm not a professional when it comes to making videos. I just try to do my best about the construction part and building science part, and hope that you'll bear with me on the rest. All right, so we are close to the end of this job, and so we'll drop that around, and then I'm going to show you where we're at. So there is a little lip right here. Let's see if I can tip this down. Yeah, that's better. Now, there is a little lip right here. It's a 1-inch lip on this flashing, and I'll show you that in a second. And this bend that I just created, this hook bend that I just created, is going to slide over that. And to make that happen, we're going to get it lined up to where it's ready to go on, and then we're going to start the Snaplock tie-in. And then we're going to slide it up on there. And the way I do that is with a block of wood and a hammer. And then I'm going to come up and I'm going to inspect the alignment of those panels up there. So let me go up and look and make sure that they're aligned. And they are. So then I'm going to go ahead and walk this snap on. Get that snap engaged all the way up. And I'm just a little bit high on this piece relative to the other one, so I'm going to tap that back down just a hair, because I've had this completely even all the way down the roof. And that is perfect. And it's perfect. That alignment from one panel to the next is perfect all the way down. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is screw this panel down. And I'm going to go up here and put one here also. Now I have to admit that when I got started for this, when I got ready to start this video, I didn't fill my pocket with screws. So I'm going to have to come back and screw this off after we're done with this video. But with 2 screws in it already, I can go ahead and show you with this tool, which is a 6-inch crimping tool. I can go ahead and get on this bend and tighten it up. And I wish this tool had longer handles on it so I could have more leverage, but it works. And then I can really give, if I turn it this way, I can really give the ends right there a good tight crimp. And then the last thing I do, I don't really like the way this is open. And so what I do is I take my hammer and I give a little bend there. And then I take this crimping tool and I give a little crimp there. And then I get the most leverage with this tool if I turn it this way. And now that is, let me take this out. That is super tight. And it looks good all the way down. So that's what the roof looks like now. I have 2 more panels to do, 1 more full panel. And then I want to take you down to the other end. Because when you start these panels, what you want to do is you want to measure the entire roof. And then these panels are 16 inches on center. From here to here is 16 inches. Well, at the end, you have this 1-inch, it's called DL metal. The metal comes up on the roof, it's 3.5 inches. It comes out past the edge of the roof 1 inch, and then comes back and goes down, and then has this little drip edge. And this first panel gets cut so that it's 1.75 inches past the edge of the roof. It goes out 1 inch and then bends back around, and it hems and crimps up underneath. I think you can see that. So right there, it crimps underneath. And so the trick to make this roof look good is to make sure that well, that wind is good. Make sure that you measure the roof and do the calculations. So this roof measured 418.5 inches. And if you add 1.75 inches on two ends, you come up with 422 inches. And if you divide that, you end up with 25 even panels and 22 inches remaining. So what you do is, when you get started, you take this piece of the panel and you cut it off. And I left 11 inches from here, from the center of this rib. I came 11 inches over and I ripped it all the way up. And then I brought that panel over and crimped it all the way up and hooked it on to that DL metal to hold it. Then this panel gets screwed down and the next panel hooks over it. And then it's got the little crimp that I just showed you. Now, one of the most important things about metal roofing, because putting down metal roof panels, as you just saw, is rather easy and rather quick. But what matters is getting the flashings correct. And so that took a little time. And what I did here took me some time to figure out. There's a 4-inch by 4-inch piece of metal that comes up underneath this drip edge of this DL receiver metal. And then I took a 3-inch piece of metal before I ran this DL. I ran a piece of 3x3 up the rake because I wanted it to come down onto this trim board, this fascia board, a good amount. This fascia board is that corral panel. And that corral panel is a full 6 inches by 1 inches pressure treated. And that stopped right about here. And I had to put a little piece of wood on top. And that means that I needed to run a 3-inch metal down to get well onto this fascia board so water can't get up on top of it. And then I lapped the DL metal over that. And that 3-inch metal that I ran down, I cut it. And this is that same piece of metal just bent down. And when I bent it down, I snipped it. And I snipped it again and I doubled it back on itself. And I formed this little edge, which is just really for looks, but it also helps to capture the ends of all this metal and not let any water get in this inside corner. And so that flashing detail is what's going to keep the water out of this. Now, another thing that I've done is this metal that's going to go on this roof is not the same metal. I use this Snaplock system because I'm putting solar panels on this roof next week. I want to get those solar panels on before I put the metal on this little overhang roof, because I don't want my solar installers to be walking on this roof to get to this roof where they're installing the solar panels. All of this roof is going to get completely covered with solar panels. I think we're going to put about, well, I don't think, we're going to put 7.5 kW of solar on this roof. So this eyebrow roof, this little overhang porch roof, which does not have the buildup of foam insulation that I'm going to show you in the next video, that is going to be made of corrugated metal. And the reason I'm using corrugated metal for that is because I want the look of this building to be hill country outbuilding, hill country barn looking on the roof. And so I'm using corrugated metal for that. I could have used the same Snaplock, would have been a little more money, easier, but I'm going for a look. And it's not great to walk around on that corrugated metal. You can crinkle it if you're not careful. If you don't walk on it carefully, you can crinkle it and it never looks the same again. So I'm going to get the solar panels installed, and then I'm going to put the corrugated metal on. All right. I see I've gotten this video up to 20 minutes, and I get a lot of complaints when they run too long. So I'm just going to beg you to subscribe. I know you're watching this video and you're not going to subscribe. Go ahead and do it. Punch the button. Let's drive up the numbers so that more people get exposed to it. I'm going to be putting out a few more videos now that this building is dried in. I'm going to show you a couple of things that I've done on this building while I haven't been making videos. I have been making good progress though. We had a couple of bad weather days where I worked on batteries, and one crazy day where I had to rush off and manage an emergency situation that came up in someone's life, and I'm glad that's over and everything came out okay and everybody's fine now. But I am going to be able to get some more videos out, so you can expect two or three videos with this one. Thanks so much. Please subscribe, like this video, share it with your friends. I'm going to do the next video on the roof buildup of insulation, and also the air infiltration methods that I used on the walls, and those will be coming up right behind this one. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.